How does Olympic hockey compare to NHL hockey? How does Olympic hockey compare to National Hockey League hockey? This question is especially relevant as fans reflected on the Beijing 2022 men's Olympic hockey tournament and the differences that make each format unique. Ice hockey is played at both the Olympic and National Hockey League levels, but there are some key differences that shape the experience for players and fans alike. One of the first things to consider is the size of the rink. Olympic hockey is played on a larger rink, typically measuring to 100 feet long by 100 feet wide. In contrast, National Hockey League rinks are 200 feet long but only 85 feet wide. This extra width in Olympic hockey creates more space for players to maneuver, often leading to a faster and more open game. The narrower rinks in the National Hockey League result in a more physical style of play with tighter checking. Another area where the two formats differ is in the rules. In the National Hockey League, icing is determined by a hybrid system where the linesman decides if icing should be called based on which player reaches the puck first. Olympic hockey employs a no-touch icing rule, meaning icing is called automatically if the puck crosses the goal line without being touched. This rule can speed up the game and reduce stoppages. Faceoffs also have different procedures. In the National Hockey League, the visiting team's player must put their stick down first during a faceoff. However, in Olympic hockey, it is the attacking team that puts their stick down first, giving them a slight advantage in gaining control of the puck. Player safety is another important distinction. In Olympic hockey, any contact with a high stick on an opposing player, even if accidental, is penalized. The National Hockey League allows some accidental high sticking as long as it is not deemed dangerous. Additionally, if a player loses their helmet during play in Olympic hockey, they must go directly to the bench, while in the National Hockey League, they can continue playing unless it is unsafe. Fighting is treated more strictly in Olympic hockey. Players who engage in a fight receive a 5-minute penalty and a game misconduct, meaning they are ejected from the game. In the National Hockey League, fighting results in a 5-minute penalty, but players are not automatically ejected unless the fight is particularly violent. Overtime rules differ as well. In the National Hockey League regular season, overtime typically consists of 5 minutes of 3-on-3 play, followed by a shootout if the game remains tied. In Olympic hockey, during preliminary rounds, overtime is 5 minutes of 4-on-4 play, followed by a shootout. In playoff games, teams play 10 minutes of sudden death overtime before a shootout. Goalie movement regulations also vary. The National Hockey League has a trapezoid behind the net that restricts where goalies can play the puck. This rule does not exist in Olympic hockey, allowing goalies more freedom to move and handle the puck. Another practical issue is player participation. In recent years, National Hockey League players have not always been available for the Olympics due to league decisions or scheduling conflicts, as seen in the 2018 and 2022 Winter Olympics. This impacts the quality of play and the excitement of the tournament, as fans expect to see the best players in the world compete. To summarize, Olympic hockey and National Hockey League hockey share the same core sport, but differences in rink size, rules, and player participation create unique experiences for players and fans. For National Hockey League fans watching Olympic hockey, these differences can make the international game feel faster, less physical, and sometimes less predictable, especially when top National Hockey League players are not on the ice. Understanding these distinctions helps fans appreciate both versions of the game and the strategies that make each one special.